Welcome back, viewers. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. My name is Patrick Tawia Matope. On this channel, I do post anything to do with social work, really various topics, so that one can learn and know exactly what social workers do. And for those who are new to the profession, you'll be able to grab one or two things, really. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so that when I post, you'll be the first person to actually know, view, and actually share with others. So in today's topic, I'm just going to be talking to you about things that you need to know for you before you become a social worker, or if you want to be a social worker practicing in England. These are really important points, so you need to grab your pen and paper and or be able to listen attentively to these things if ever you want to be a qualified social worker, really. I will post another video which is going to be linked to this one, which talks only about the registration with Social Work England. But in this video, I'm just going to be giving you a few nuggets for someone who is considering, to be a social worker or to come into this profession of social work, of being a social worker, really. This list is not going to be exhaustive because you might wonder, why have I left this? Why have I left this? I'm just giving bits of nuggets from my own experience or from my own practice, which I think would be relevant for this particular video. I'm not going to be giving an exhaustive list, really, but I'm just going to pick maybe 5, 6, 7 points which I think would be really important for you to take note of if you're going to be coming into this profession. So first and foremost, for you to be a social worker in England, you need to be mindful that there are professional standards that you need to be adhering to, which is set by what we call Social Work England. Social Work England is the regulatory body for all social workers who are practicing in England. So you need to adhere to the professional standards set by Social Work England. These are, available online on their website. For all qualified social workers, it's important for you to always refresh your mind on, to refresh your brains on what's on the website and, on these professional standards, really. For example, these standards, they talk about promoting, individual rights, looking at the strengths and the well-being of people that we work with, making sure that we uphold their well-being of the families and, communities that we are working with. And you need to be somebody who is able to establish and maintain trust with the people that you work with. Being accountable, that's one of them, for the quality of your practice, the quality of the work that you do, and also being able to maintain your professional development regularly, and also acting safely or practicing safely. It's also important. Practicing with integrity, it's also important, and making sure that you are promoting ethical practice in the way that you practice social work. Point number 2 is the qualifications. You need to have a degree in social work that is approved by Social Work England. I understand some people with diplomas might also register as a social worker, especially if you've got a first degree in another field. But I think it's important for you to take note that you need a qualification in social work. At the moment, it's also important that to take note that if you've got another degree in another field or another subject, but you opt for a postgraduate degree in social work at the master's level, you can be a qualified social worker. Once you finish your master's degree, you can actually register with Social Work England and practice, as a qualified social worker. So that's important qualification. Point number 3, you need to be mindful that you can't use the title social worker when you're not registered with Social Work England. You can't use the title social worker when you don't hold the necessary qualification. So it's mandatory for you to register with Social Work England for you to use the title of being a social worker or to practice as a social worker, because it's a protected title according to the law. It requires you to hold a recognized qualification, meeting the English language requirements is set by Social Work England, and also demonstrating that you are capable to practice safely and effectively as a social worker. That's key and that's important. Point number 4, it's important for you to take note that if you are going to be working as a social worker, you need to be somebody who is able to continuously improve your own professional development, to continuously improve yourself, making sure that, you must engage in what we call CPD, continuous professional development, work to maintain your registration and to maintain your knowledge base and to ensure that your practice remains safe and effective. That's point number 4. Point number 5, it's important to also take note that there is what we call ethical practice. You are expected to work in an ethical manner, to report any concerns of poor practice within this profession, and to be able to even report yourself if you feel that you have actually done something which is contrary to the expectations of Social Work England. So you need to take note of ethical practice. There is also, you need to be mindful that point number 6, I'm talking about career path and progression. You need to know that once you are qualified as a social worker, there is a career path that you can follow from being a social worker to a senior social worker, from a senior social worker to a senior practitioner or advanced practitioner, from an advanced practitioner to be assistant team manager, from assistant team manager to be a team manager, from, especially if you are being employed by the local authority in a children's team or in an adult's team, whatever it is that you're going to be working in. But there is a career progression which is there. Whether you want to work in an non-government organization, there is also career progression which is there, depending with any specialization that you wanna actually do within the social work field, whether you wanna work with children, families, or you wanna work with adults, really. And then the other important point is the work environment. Social workers in England, you can work, in various settings. That's something that you need to be mindful of as well, which includes local authorities, which is the majority of the employer, hospitals. You can also work in a hospital. You can also work in schools. You can also work in private practice, whether in substance misuse, field or whatever it is that you want to do. Or you can actually work in community development agencies, international organizations like United Nations, and other, international organizations like World Vision or Plan K and so forth. So there are many other, potential employers out there where you can actually, look for a job, really. Sometimes it depends with the job that you'll be doing. If you're going to be working out of hours team, it might mean that you might be working evenings, or you might be working weekends, or you can even be working on a bank holiday on a rota basis and stuff like that. So it's important for you to take note of that as well. But if you're going to be doing the normal 9 to 5 role, then it means you may be starting sometimes 9 o'clock and finishing 5 o'clock. But like I said, it's not your typical 9 to 5 job where 5 o'clock, boom, you are going home. Sometimes it's not like that. You can't be leaving a child at risk only because it's 5 o'clock. You need to be working through to make sure that that child or that family is safe in that particular environment before you make your way home. So the last and foremost, important thing that I need to talk about is the fact that it's a challenging profession, so it requires a strong commitment to helping others, which is the primary role that we do anyway. We are there to help others. It can be both challenging, but I assure you it's a very, very rewarding profession. So it's essential for you to stay informed about the latest development in this profession if you really want to be a social worker. Even if you haven't started your training, it's important for you to just, tune in into, channels like this, or read online for you to familiarize yourself with what it is that we do in social work. So with those few nuggets, thank you so much for tuning in, and please, if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe, hit that notification bell so that when I post, you'll be the first person to know. Thank you so much.